Hello guys, just want to make a sort of a quick tutorial on creating an object using the pass exporter in 3dsMax7. And I know JRock has a couple videos on his channel. I just wanted to put some of this information in one place so it was easy to find for myself more than anything. Hopefully it helps somebody out. And what I'm talking about is an object like this media center at Phoenix. Now this is an older track, so don't pay any attention to the background, but this object did not have environment or specular mapping on it to begin with, and I wanted to go ahead and add that to it. I want to give a huge shout out to JRock for helping me learn how to do this kind of thing. Now you can see in this version of it here that glossiness on the windows is extremely bright, and I'm going to go over that a little bit here as well, how to adjust it. But let's see, different angles, you can see reflections that weren't there before, so even went ahead and did the back side here as well. I also wanted to go over an issue that I had with 3dsMax7, and that was assigning the environment.dds. It would come up with an error, and I'll just go over briefly what I did to fix that error in case it comes up again for you guys, or if you're just getting started with it. So I'm going to go open file location. I want to, let's see, is it standard plugs, DX plugins, and in your folder, after you've installed the DDS plugins to 3dsMax, you're going to have in this folder, the DX plugins folder, you're going to have dds.bmi, and you're going to have dds.bmi in this folder. What you want to do is copy those out of this folder. You want to remove them from this folder and move them to another one. You don't want them to remain in this folder. You're not making a copy. That's something that kind of threw me for a loop googling the issue, is I was leaving the original files in here and making a copy in the standard plugins folder. You don't want to do that. You want to completely remove them from this folder and take them up to the standard plugins folder. It's a good idea to back those up somewhere outside of 3dsMax7, just so you have them in case they need to go back there for some other reason. But once you do that, your DDS error should be taken care of. You'll notice that after you do that, when you launch 3dsMax7, you'll get a whole lot of errors. Now, some of these errors that I'm getting are for the Papyrus Pass plugin, and you can see there for the DX DDS, Pass, R6. And you're also, after you copy those two files from the DX folder up directory, you're going to get this error here where it says it can't load it. Ignore that, that's normal, but everything should still work correctly. So I'm going to open my scene here. Now this is already set up and it's already been run through, obviously, but I wanted to go through and show how I did this. So I'm going to select the object, material editor, M, and the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to have to apply a texture that has an alpha channel. Now the easiest way to get that alpha image with an alpha channel is to paint your texture. And give me just a second, I'll show you the texture for this object. You're going to paint the texture like you normally would, using magenta or pink as the transparent color, or whatever color you choose to use. Using WinMap, convert that BMP file to a MIP file, save it, and then change it back to a TGA file. And once you do that, that image will now have an alpha channel with that transparency in it. You can verify by right here in the alpha source box, if this is grayed out, then you obviously know it hasn't worked. You should be able to select alpha source. If the image that you have applied, in this case it's a TGA that's been run through WinMap, so this box is not grayed out, and I can select, and I've got image alpha selected, obviously because it's available. So that's the first step. So you want to apply a TGA, not a BMP, a TGA as your base texture for diffuse map. So I've got that in the diffuse slot. Then you want to select your specular, which is, hopefully you can see that on the video, is you want to make everything that is shiny white to start with, and everything that is not shiny will be black, and that has to be true black, 000 on the RGB scale. The glossiness can be changed two different ways, and I think it's easier to use colors to change that than anything else. You know, that would be the first way to do it. So you would change that white part of the texture to anywhere between true white and true black on the grayscale. It has to be on the grayscale. So that is one way to adjust the glossiness of those parts of the texture. So we've applied, and we've named it mask. So that's your specular mask. This is the other way that you can change how shiny it is, going by specular level 5 and glossiness 25. Really don't want to mess with that too much. You can play around with it and see what gives you a better result, but that's generally speaking the best way to do it is 5 and 25 here, and then adjust the color. So we've got our diffuse map, our specular map, and we're going to go down to the maps rollout. And we're going to check the box next to reflection, and in here we're going to apply the environment.dds. And if you're having the issue where it says that it can't be loaded, or it gives you a pop-up warning when you go to select a .dds, then you're going to need to follow that tip with the two plugin files, moving them to a different directory at the beginning part of this video. So that'll help you fix that error. So we've got the environment selected there. After you've got those three textures applied to your object, generally speaking, unless you're you know exactly where you want to move it, make sure your object is centered in the viewport on 000. Make sure your axis is set at 0, not floating in the middle of it. That will help line things up on flat ground. Obviously, if you're putting objects on not flat ground, that wouldn't apply to you, but generally speaking, that helps you place the object in Sandbox later. So, and what you're going to do is export it to a PAS file, Happy Scene Export, and you're going to name that what you want the object to be named. I'm not going to do it, but it's already been done. What you're going to end up with is, in this case, WinCenter.pas. Now to set up Make 3DO, I've got it set up in a folder that's easy to get to using command prompt. I've got the Make 3DO, the three DLL files that come with that set up in that folder, and it's just on C, Make 3DO. You start with those three files, or those four files, the exe and the three DLLs. And I've got some other tutorial things in here, just what you're going to type in command prompt. So I go to Start, search for programs. You can't see this, but I'm just typing CMD, and the command prompt comes up. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and delete this and go ahead and remake it just so you can see what I'm typing here. So I need to change directory, so I'm going to go CD / enter, and I'm going to go to CD make 3do, enter. Now I'm in that directory. So what I'm going to type is make 3do space dash p space, and I've got my textures, I've got my TGA, I've got my mask, and my transparent image. The transparent image is, you don't have to do it this way, but I find it works out better if you do. You want your transparent part of the image, so just convert your magenta color to black, and everything else that's not transparent will be bright white, true white. So that would be your TI, and then your mask we already discussed. So you've got your 3 textures in there. You also have to have your environment.dds in that folder. So back to command prompt there. I just wanted to go over that. Make sure you have those files in that folder. And you're also going to have your paths that you exported from 3dsMax7. So we're going to go win underscore center dot pas, and I believe capitalization is important, so you need to make sure you're typing it exactly the same way it is named. And because we have specular mapping, environment mapping, we want to do -e on the end of that. And you can see in the folder in the background there, it made the wincenter.3do object. So obviously you would convert, you don't need to convert the TI, you can if you want to. You don't have to. You can use the magenta color in WinMap. And if you're not familiar with that, I'll just show that real quick. So that would be the BMP file. You just hold the right shift button, click the pink or magenta color, and it comes up as invisible color, and then you can save it as a single texture instead of 2. So you want to go ahead and convert all those textures, minus the TI if you don't want to use that, to a .map. So you would end up with a minimum of the object, the main texture with transparency or without. You can use the TI if you want to. The main object, the main texture, and the mask texture. The environment map should already be in that track folder because it's being used by other things in the track folder. If not, then you'll just have to copy something environment.map in there from another track that does use one. Copy those into the folder, place the object. In this case it was already placed, so hopefully that helps somebody out as far as specular mapping and a few errors with 3dsMax7. So with that, I'll end the video here. Thanks for watching.